Hi, everybody. You've got Jacqueline here in Canada and Melody over there in Ireland. Say hi, Melody.
Hi, everyone. It's so great to be here.
And we are on part 4 of 7 in opening your heart. And today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, healing, because I believe everybody has that essence to just heal within. And so we are going to have a great conversation. So grab yourself a cup of tea, cup of coffee, glass of water, lemonade, whatever you are drinking these days, and join us for this awesome conversation. So, Melody, why don't you give everybody a little recap if they've missed 1, 2, and 3, what they need to go get caught up on.
Okay, so in the first one we were talking about reconnecting with your heart, rediscovering your heart. We have a beautiful meditation to connect with your heart and to be aware of what you want and start asking for what you need and start giving yourself what you need as well. And then we went to gratitude, which was on the second part, where you can't be happy if you're not grateful. So look for those things that you love. Write 5 things every day that you love about your man or your children or your life, whatever it is, and start appreciating those things. And then in step 3, we started talking about forgiveness, which is one of those things that are very difficult, but we went really deep into it. And we started talking about forgiving yourself for the mistakes you've made, forgiving other people for what you think they've done to you, and letting go of some of these things. If you have somebody that has done something that you think is wrong and you feel you can never let it go, do a symbolic thing. Throw a stone into the sea or into a hole or something to get rid of all that energy and start enjoying your life. Yes.
Yes, that's a great one. I loved throwing things away. And actually, I was just said to somebody today, sometimes, because their comment to me was they wanted to break the pattern. And I said, well, a really good way of breaking a pattern is breaking something. And if you don't have something right at hand, a light bulb, an old light bulb, stick it in a paper bag, in a plastic bag, and just throw it. It breaks so easily.
Yeah.
And just that poof, and then it's like broke the pattern, and then toss it away, and you're done with it. So,
yes. Yeah.
Good way to start that healing. So now, where would one begin when they realize, like in my past, I had wounds of the heart based on, like a lot of people, they have issues that happen in their childhood and they close down their heart. And then they maybe even are aware, even spiritual, right? And they're aware that they have issues.
Yes.
But they still haven't truly healed. What would you suggest there? Where would they begin besides step 1, 2, and 3 that we've already talked about?
Okay, so hurt unhealed can tend to rage. And this hurt might not even be your hurt. It might be ancestral hurt. It might be your mother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother had a pain, and that pain passes on.
Yeah.
And in saying that, we also need to be aware that, so if you hold on to anger and pain, you're passing it on to your children, to your great-grandchildren, to everybody who's coming after you. That's why it's very important to let it go, to let go of pain. And pain and hurt, we like to wear those things as badges of honor. But in doing that, we are also making ourselves victims. We are saying, other people have got more control over our joy, our happiness, our lives. That's why I think in order to really connect with your heart, you need to heal. You need to heal that pain.
Yes, and there's obviously many ways in the world. It's just there's infinite possibilities. There's many ways that you can start down a journey towards healing. When do you know, or what do you feel
Mm-hmm.
is the awareness level that somebody needs to have to begin that healing journey?
Okay, it takes courage to question your own perspectives or perceptions. And sometimes when you are questioning yourself, when you have patterns that keep repeating themselves, you keep meeting the same man in different bodies. You keep repeating the same mistakes with with your parents, with your children, with everybody really. You you need to start looking at the why. Why am I doing this? Why is this keeping happening? What is it that's causing it? And go deeper, go into your soul. Ask yourself, you know what has happened to you. You're very aware of what has happened to you. Face those things, acknowledge them.
Well, people have had various levels of trauma in their life. So there's the person that just didn't get attention the way they wanted as a kid, or maybe were bullied a little bit. But then there's the people that have had real traumatic things go on, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've been molested, abused, and beaten. And so those wounds, can they be healed without a professional?
I think they can, but I think there has to be a willingness to do that. You need to want to let all those things go.
Right.
Because it's in the intention that you get the result that you want.
Yeah, that's absolutely, I would agree with you that I've learned from my own experience wanting to help people that I could tell needed help, but they weren't ready to receive the help. And I think that's key. So now I have to be really clear to somebody and say, are you, do you want to give this away? Do you want,
yes.
Do you want to make a change? Do you want to break the habit? And when they say yes, 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 then it's like, okay, then let's get it done.
Yeah. And when a person says, I want to do this, I'm willing to give this up, they are telling the universe that all the helpers that we have that we can't see will be helping you to get rid of those things. So you're not really doing it alone. You have help.
Right.
But we have choice. That's the thing. If you decide, I want to hold on to this for whatever reason, no one is going to force you to get rid of it. They will allow you to keep whatever you decide to keep. That's why it's important to have the intention to let that go.
So the intention to let it go. And so I just made me think about when you went back to dating the same person in the different body, or being, right?
Yeah.
Because I think that's important, because lots of times people know they're repeating the pattern, but they keep looking and going, oh, she's tall, dark, and handsome. He's short, blonde, and cute. They're different. They're totally different. But
yeah.
You discover there's still the same thing. And how do you know if it's your issue, or, for instance, it's your mother's issue, or your grandmother's issue, or your father's issue, or your grandfather's issue, or?
Okay. If you know for a fact that this thing has never happened in your life, then it's not your issue. If you like, some of it is you know things that have happened, and things, when you have made bad choices as well, that okay, I made a bad choice at this point and this is it. But if you are making bad choices and you can't tell why you're making bad choices, sometimes it's going back. But still, you need to make a decision. I don't want to repeat this pattern. I want to break this pattern and start a new pattern. Set that intention, and then start doing things like going into nature, sitting down and doing meditation and doing fun things. Joy is very good at clearing a lot of things.
Okay, so sometimes do people, though, go to create joy as a scapegoat, right? They notice the pain and they turn to joy, but they haven't necessarily healed.
Yeah, and it feels uncomfortable. That's when you go and drink a lot. You're saying I'm having fun, but really you're escaping. There's a difference between being in joy and hiding behind joy.
Okay.
A big difference. So you need to get into it. Healing is a step-by-step process, but it's a process that no one can do for you. It's a thing that you need to do for yourself. So for me, I'll give you an example. When after my husband died, when I decided I wanted to get out of the pain,
right,
and step into more of my joy,
right,
I started, I watched comedies and I would laugh a lot. I started reading books that were more spiritual. Like I read a lot of Nora Roberts. She writes fiction, but she tends to get into this. She touches this spiritual side a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I would connect with the stories you would be talking about and all the other things that were going on. I also we started doing dancing on Friday nights in our home with our kids. And we just play any sort of music and we just move our bodies and do crazy things. And so all those things helped me. But I also went to therapy. I'm not saying that, you can do this all on your own. Get help if you need help. Part of healing is acknowledging what you need and going to get it. I knew I couldn't help myself completely on my own. I needed more help. And so I would go to therapy, but because I love talking so much, I would go. And I found a very good therapist, who got me. And that's the trick as well. So I'll go to therapy, go to a therapist, and they're those ones who are in cardboard and they just do methodical things. They are not they're looking at more the academic side of therapy instead of really trying to help you heal. I had two therapists. I got rid of one because she wasn't helping me, but the other one really got me and she worked with me the way I needed to be worked with. So you need to look into that too. If you need therapy, oh my goodness, go ahead and get it.
Yeah, I can agree. And we can say hi to your beautiful sister there, Nelta.
Hi, Nelta.
And okay. Yes. Okay. So I'm just reading here. She's holding behind joy will not heal. Right. If you're holding back the joy.
Yeah.
Very good comment, Nelta. And I'm sure you're going to be talking about how to unleash all that with your cooking tomorrow. So, right? Isn't she starting her cooking?
And she's starting a challenge. Yes, yeah, she is.
Yeah, see? Talented sisters you have. Okay, so I can also admit that way back when, because I had a series of, generational sexual abuse, and then I was, raped and strangled to a near-death experience when I was just 10. So I spent, probably a good year going through therapy to unleash, because at that point in time, I had health issues that had taken away from the memory of it all, right? And then as I started to unleash it, the anger, as you talk about healing, the anger was so huge that I had to get that diffused and realize that as long as I was feeling this way, my body, the pain was hurting my body. So as I let out the anger and the emotions, my body started to heal. But it was only in the process of going into relationships and yes, in fact, picking the two different bodies. That realizing it was like practicing almost to the new habits and working on the healing and feeling the old patterns. Some of them most definitely were generational that I had just unknowingly inherited. And then as you become aware, you start to unravel them and the heart heals. But everybody needs to find their right path to do that. But the conversation begins with admitting it to yourself that guess what? The only common ingredient was me. Yeah. And I needed to deal with me because I was hurting.
Yeah. That's true. I have my mom used to say people didn't like her, and they would like she would meet people who couldn't deal with her light, and they would do their darkness thing and try to make her feel bad about herself, whatever. And but she internalized that and took it as people didn't like her. But she had people who loved her around her, but she wouldn't see them because she was only focused on those people who were hurting her. But that story passed on to me.
Right.
So I started also saying, "Oh, people don't like me. People come to me, they use me, and then they leave me, and they're just after what they want from me." And I carried that story for a very long time. Then I happened to be talking to somebody about, not manifesting money in my life, in my business, and all that. And I said that, but as I was saying it, I realized this is not my story. This is my mom's story, but I've taken it and made it my own.
Yeah.
And at that point I said, it was like a light bulb. Oh, I've just realized I've taken my mom's story and made it my own story. And it's not even a true story even. And right. I decided, no, this is not my story. I'm letting it go. And I'm lucky I've got a mother who's open-minded. So I went back to her and I said, Mom, do you remember the story, blah, blah, blah. And then I said, but do you see people who loved you in your life? You have people who would lay down their bodies to die for you. And how can you focus on the people who don't love you when you have people who really, really, truly love you? And they've done everything they can to show you. Yeah. What's up with that? And she said, yeah, I never thought of it like that. So there's, in healing, you need to ask yourself, and you need to, sometimes I like to talk things out because that's when things come out. And in talking them out, I realize, oh yeah, maybe that's where this is coming from, or that's where this is coming from. And I go in deeper to try and heal that.
Yeah, and I think the key is, first of all, if you've taken it in, it's the natural order to get it out. So whether it's talking it out or writing it out, as some people say, journal the things, right? Yes. Art is becoming a great way to heal too. Just painting, dancing, something that's creating a different energetic shift to release it, because you have already taken it into your heart, and now your heart wants to come open, which is what this whole conversation is about, to heal. Yeah.
So you don't keep your heart shut down for no reason, and you don't experience life to the fullest because you are holding on to things that don't matter. And you asked me earlier what happened today. Today I had a healing session that was not planned. I'm telling this story because I think it's very relevant. I've been feeling like I'm not really connecting with myself more, and I want to live my truth. I want to preach to live what I preach, okay? Yep. So a couple of friends and my sister, we decided this morning, on a Sunday morning, early in the morning, we're going to go to the beach. And we're going to do this for connecting to nature and Gaia and just be. There was no plan, okay? We were just going. So the four of us went. And we sat on the beach. We sat on these rocks. It's a rocky beach. We sat on these rocks and we were talking about ourselves because with these two other ladies, we don't know each other very well. They're people we just got on to get together with recently.
Right.
And we started talking about our experiences, our lives, and what we plan to do we're planning to help women in Uganda who are growing pumpkins for business, and we want to help them to make this into a proper business and stuff. So coming from that, we were saying, so what do we do? And as we were talking, okay, I felt my body relax. I felt at home. And my body was just, when I was quiet, my body was naturally just swaying with the sea. And it was so life affirming. It was a small thing, but it made a huge impact. I'm still on a high now because it was so unbelievable. But it's that healing. It's the feeling like you've gone home, and you're going to be encompassed in love, in loving arms, and you're just cherished, and you're like, I'm here. And I met her. And I'm important. And I'm loved.
Yeah.
And that's the healing I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, that's the game that I'm, playing, that I believe that everybody can have their best whole new world, because that's the world I live in. Like, to me, I live in this sense that everything it's just awe, it's joy, it's remarkable, and it's a different level of, as you said, conversation. It's not a get to. It's not a go here, back there, go here, back there. And that's where I use the analogies that before I was a caterpillar, like I was grounded and, in the world. And then for, like 25 odd years, I was in the chrysalis, learning, but still going back and forth between these patterns. But then when you break out of the chrysalis and you're a butterfly and you realize that you are totally transformed, I can talk about some of the things in the past, but there is zero connection between how I was back then and how I operate now, because the world is entirely different. And I believe that's where, when we talk about healing, that's it. It's to realize you can be healed body, mind, and soul on every single level. So you are living in this world of joy, health, love, possibility, wealth, consistent, because that's the natural order of the universe, and everything else keeps you separate. So great on having that experience at the ocean, because for me, that's one of the places I love to get that.
Yeah, because what our friend Sylvia was saying, you girls, when I get together with you, I feel such amazing energy coming out of you. How do you do that? And we said, we don't know. We just go into nature and we play around there and we come home. It just sticks with us. And so that's where this whole we are going to find ourselves came. But just to say that, for some people, I told my mom this story recently. When I was going home, because I went to boarding school when I was 12. So most of my growing up time, I was going home a lot and coming from somewhere. And when I was going home, as I passed through, because our estate was in a fence, as I passed through that fence and I got into our estate, I started to relax. My whole body would relax. And I would get home, and home was a source of energy for me. It was a source of recuperation. Whatever was going on in my life, the moment I got home, I was at peace.
Yes.
I understand that most people have not been that fortunate. So, they don't, but you can give yourself that. Find a space where you go to and you feel at home and you are at peace.
Yeah.
And give yourself the gift of always going back to that space as many times as you can.
And were you in boarding school in Harare?
No, I was in Mashingo, and then I was in Dadaya. It's in the middle of a farm in a place called Rishane, which nobody has ever heard of. It's a mining town.
That's when I was in Eastern and Southern Africa in 1991. That was when I first landed. To me, that felt home. Like that sense of, there's just this feeling over there that people were so much more connected than over here in North America. That, that was where that was really when the journey began, is to say we're so backwards over here in the Western world.
Thank you so much for that, Jacqueline. That means a lot to me.
It was my thing. Like, I knew I had to go. I had to go since I was little. And the time I had to go to Africa, it was like this time. And I just quit everything and left it all behind. But I just felt so at home. And when some people would say, I don't get it. And I go, well, you just look at people are happy. They're smiling.
Yeah, they're happy.
They're connecting. And we come over and say, oh, you don't know what you're doing. You need to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's know it all that is the problem, I think. But anyway.
Yeah. So healing the heart is a journey, most definitely. It's not a quick thing, is it?
No, it's not. You have to continuously go into healing, because you can't just do it once and be done with it. It's a continuous journey, and it's a process, which I continuously do as well. I'm always going into my healing space because I love it. And I have a process called Ho'oponoponopono, I don't know if people
Yes,
have heard it
that one's a
before.
yes, do it. Explain it to everybody.
So this process helps you to, again, connect with your heart. It's a process that was used in Hawaii by a doctor to help mental patients that were, psychotic, who were in hospital for crimes, and they were never going to go out. And he used this process to heal those people. And he never even spoke to them. He would take their file and hold it and think the words I'm going to teach you now, 4 sentences. And those sentences or words helped all these patients to heal. And it's phenomenal. And it grounds you and it heals you. Mm-hmm. So you can say them in any order, but it's I love you.
I love you. I forgive you.
Let me just get back into myself.
I forgive me.
Okay. Forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I'm sorry. I think.
Yeah, the kicker is forgive me. I said forgive you, but because that's what most people think. I'll forgive you. But it's forgive me, right?
Yeah.
I love you. Please forgive me.
I love you. Please forgive me. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yes. So you can say those words in any order, but you say it in a way that you feel like, okay, this is what's working for me right now. This is what I want. Do I want forgiveness, or do I want to say I'm sorry, or do I want to say whatever? But do it as many times. So I usually do them in the shower, or when I find myself in a pattern of self-destruction, okay, when I'm being too critical or whatever, and then I say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And just say that slowly in your head, slowly. And you find you calm down and you connect with yourself, and your true self, your happy, joyful, true self will start to come out again. Yeah. And I hope that helps you. As it has helped me.
It does. And healing, like, just to know that in somebody, for them to feel that if you're in that space where you want to, you're constricting, you want to blame or you judge or get angry, and then you just stop and take a moment and say, even if you start with saying, I love you, and it feels like still you're like, you can still feel that tension in your heart at that moment, but then you say, forgive me. Then you put it back. You can start to feel the energy has to release because you're talking to yourself now, right?
Yeah.
Me. And then the heart starts to open and it's like, I'm sorry, right? Really, you're telling yourself you're sorry for how you're feeling, and you're asking for healing. And when each of us heals, we help others to heal, which is
we do. Yeah.
Effectively what this man did, this doctor did, is just by saying that, looking at the files, he sent them energy and they had healings.
Yes. Yeah.
And as each of us does our own heart work, we are healing the planet.
Yes, we are. We heal ourselves and each other. Because when people see you being different and being happy and joyous and full of life, they will see that, one, it's possible to do that, and they want to do that as well. Because it's very contagious. Everybody wants it.
I want it.
Me too.
Okay, so we've done the heart meditation, the gratitude, forgiveness, and in healing, we're saying, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you.
Yes. That's what we are saying.
So we're going to look straight into the camera's eyes now and say it one more time. Together. I love you.
You.
I am
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Please
Please
forgive
forgive
me.
me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the ripple effects are happening all around the world. Can you feel it, Nelta? You're supposed to go, yes, with a big like smiley icon or something. Tell it still there. Okay, or anybody else that's listening, just send those smiley faces that are going. Or hearts, because really we're talking about opening your heart.
Yes.
And that is how it occurs. Okay, so connecting with nature is, to me, one of those great things. Again, if you can't say those words, just if it's getting to yourself at the sea, like Melody did this morning, or I did, or, the trees behind me, something like that, just grab what you can that makes you get present to, there's much more than what you're actually perceiving. It's because what you're perceiving isn't necessarily truth.
Yeah.
So what's on store, Melody, for part 5?
Choices, or choosing joy, as I call it.
Joy. Oh, this is fun.
Yes, oh yeah, certainly. It's crazy, but it's fun, and it's awesome.
Okay, so again, there's 1, 2, 3, and now 4 to catch up on if you haven't seen them all. You can get a hold of Melody at
heartpassioninstitute.com or the Facebook page, Heart Passion Institute page.
Messenger if you've got questions, if you want to begin your own healing journey of your heart, so that we're a stand for those that are watching this relationship, that you are going to have a more open heart after these 7 parts, and you're going to be willing to trust and love in an entirely new, passionate way.
Yes, certainly. Definitely.
Is there any last thing you'd like to add for today, Melody?
Oh, just have more fun. Enjoy your life. Joy. Yay.
Yay. And sing the melody of your heart.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so it's been great being with you all. We'll see you again on Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. GMT, 8 p.m. Central Eastern European. What time would that be in Zimbabwe?
It will be 8.
They're on Central European time too?
Yes, they are actually, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I thought they were like another hour ahead or something. But
no,
okay.
They're 1 hour ahead in the summer and 2 hours ahead in the winter.
2 hours ahead of you in the winter.
Yes.
So then that would be 9 p.m.
That will be, if it's 7 here, it's 8 there. So now it's 8:35.
Because it's winter, it's summer, and it's only 1 hour.
It's summer for us, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Summer for us is 1 hour, winter is 2. Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have it. So looking forward to seeing you all on Wednesday. Have a good couple days.
Yes, indeed. Talk to you Wednesday. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.